homemade traditional Peruvian dessert, alfajores, basket of ham, beef, turkey, veggie gourmet sandwiches. Call Giveaways Catering, phone number 778-245-3007.
One of my family is Mexican, so beautiful memories, very good relationships. It's a country I love very much. I like mariachi and tequila, and on the other hand, I love a pisco as well, right? So it's a beautiful blend.
Today I'm going to be talking about what are the Registered Retirement Savings Plan, or RRSP. What are the basics that you need to know? Some people get confused over the term. Some people don't know what are they for and how can they actually maximize it.
Now, Canada's part in the war is often overlooked. We had a population of 11 million, and about 1 million people from Canada actually put on uniforms.
Welcome to the Immigrants Magazine's program. I am Fabiola Palomino, your host. Our guest worked as a dishwasher in construction and in a fast food restaurant. He came to Canada in 2001. And when we asked him, where are you from? He says, I am from Peru and Mexico. Currently, he is a professional, successful realtor in Vancouver. Pablo Paez is our guest on our Tell Us Your Story segment. Welcome, Pablo Paez.
I am from Peru and Mexico. I was born in Peru in 1970, and my mother is from Mexico, my father is from Peru. I left Peru in 1986. I went to study there, and yeah, so I've been in both countries. I have two passports, the Peruvian and the Mexican, but I love both of them. To study in Mexico, I lived to study in Mexico. I went to a university in Aguascalientes, which is a center of the Mexican Republic, and I studied marketing there, so my plans were to study marketing in Mexico. This is why I left when I was 16 years old. Well, my mother is from Mexico, my sister, 50% of my family is Mexican, so beautiful memories, very good relationships. It's a country I love very much. I like mariachi and tequila, and on the other hand, I love a pisco as well, right? So it's a beautiful blend. Since I was born, I see burritos in my table, right? So because my mom is from Mexico, and actually this is what my father do right now. My father, since 2000, they have a company and they manufacture tortillas in Peru. Well, I came to Canada to learn English because I didn't know to speak English properly. Still fighting with it. So anyhow, that's what I came here, and I came with a very small budget. And so I need to live, right? I need to support myself. So I studied during the day, and I was working in Subway, making subs, and a construction, dishwasher, whatever it took me to get to wherever I am right now. So I was able to sacrifice at that time in order to be able to have a better life. I acknowledge, I was conscious on what was going on at that time. I knew that I was doing construction, but also I was very confident that was only a transition. So actually, I saw it in a very positive way. When I was doing Subway, that was even better than my school because I was able to speak with 100 people every day. And this is how you learn English, right? And they were feeding me and they were paying me. So it was a great deal, right? So I always believe in myself. And when I was in those times doing what I was doing at that time, I was very confident that that was only a transition period to get to wherever I want to go. I am living in one of the most beautiful cities in the world. And actually the main reason I came to Canada, number one, is because the English, I want to learn English, but also because I love my country, I love Peru, I love Mexico, but putting a businesses over there, I witnesses many people, many businessmen that they build a business in Latin America, and because of a political situation, they lose a lot of the business as well. So I didn't want to put myself in there, right? So that's another reason why I came here. So if you're asking me if I will do it again, of course. I don't want to be vulnerable there, right? Just work all my life and suddenly something happened in the political world and I will lose everything. Or the insecurity, right? Again, I do love my countries, Peru, Mexico, but we need to acknowledge that there is insecurity there as well. And I have 2 little ones there. So of course I will do it again to be able to provide them this life, which is a good one. If you tell me, the way I want to answer this is 2004. 2004, my wife, well, it was my girlfriend at that time, she invited me to a seminar, and the seminar was from this famous person, T. Harv Eker. And that seminar changed my life. I learned many things in that seminar, and I learned to be able to work on my financial freedom since 33 years old or 34 years old. I learned not to depend or rely on a 9-to-5 job, right? So I was looking for all these answers, and I found them. I found them in 2006 with real estate, but that seminar changed my life, and so I gotta be very thankful with my wife. She was the one who invited me there, right? I was doing a post-diploma, postgrado, we call it postgrado, in business in the BCIT. And I did finish that, but I didn't follow any job in regards to my marketing or administration career. So I just followed my heart. 2006, I did not become a realtor. In 2006, I became a real estate investor. I was looking to do something different than the 9-to-5 job, and so I started buying properties as a real estate investor. I didn't have the cash to buy it, but I found joint venture partners, people with the capital, and we bought the properties together, 50-50. This is how I started my real estate career. Then in 2012, I made a decision to switch to become a realtor. My passion is real estate. I love sales. If you put them together, it's a realtor. It's beautiful. It's all about adding value to people's life. That's the way I see it. You need to add value in people's life. If you don't do that, rethinking what you are doing, right? So I have the opportunity to be able to be working with the Latin community in Vancouver, which is mainly my target, right? I like my people. I like to be with them. So 80% of my clients are from Latin America, and it feels great when they approach you with a lot of doubts and they end up buying a house. When I start, what I realize is that many people prefer to have somebody that speaks Spanish with them, and they are buying a house, they are not buying a suit. So that's one of the biggest decisions in their life. So I built a team of professionals, mortgage brokers, bankers, lawyer, whatever is needed in the process, and all of them speak Spanish, so that is easier. What I like very much is when it is very common that they approach me and they say, I'm not sure if I'm going to qualify, right? And I believe there is a misconception. I believe people believe that they need to be millionaires or a very high credit rating in order to buy a house, and that's not true. That's not true. So I was able to help a lot of people that have a lot of doubts about being able to get a house, and finally, when they bought a house, I was very happy about it. Without going into details, because it's going to be very boring, I can let you know that even with 0% down, I can get you into a property, right? It's all about the team. It's all about the knowledge. People need to know that, right? And I don't want to mention names either, but 2 weeks ago, I was able to help somebody that didn't have the down payment, and we just got an accepted offer in the house. So everything is possible, but they need to believe that too. I do believe it, but they need to believe that too. So this is why a lot of people, it's a calling me and telling me, okay, Pablo, this is my situation. How can we make that happen together, right? And I just refer them to the right people in my team, and we start working together.
Organize well your money and finances at your present time if you want to enjoy your future time. Finance advices next in our Immigrants Magazine's program.
Hi, my name is Aimee Sehwoerer, and welcome to the Finance Advice segment. Today I'm going to be talking about what are the Registered Retirement Savings Plan, or RRSP. What are the basics that you need to know? Some people get confused over the term. Some people don't know what are they for and how can they actually maximize them. So preparing for retirement should start early with a savings strategy that will make it possible for you to accommodate the most wealth before your retirement and after your retirement, because you have to enjoy. We want to maintain ourselves of same lifestyle. So the best retirement savings strategy are the RRSP, and it's like one of my favorites as well, because the contributions and all that income that accumulates in your plan are tax deferred until you start taking the money out, and it's basically when you turn 71. The fact that your contributions can be used to reduce your taxes, and the magic of compounding, that enhancing your RSP growth over a period of time, it's easy to see why these investment vehicles are so popular, so easy to understand, and also makes so much financial sense when we talk about retirement. So here are the most basic facts that will help you get the most into and out of your RSP. So number one, be deadline driven. Be a maximizer. Always make the maximum contributions each year. You get the most immediate tax savings and in the long-term growth. To find out how much you can personally contribute to your RSP, you can log into the Canada Revenue website, or you can just look at your most recent notice of assessment. Play catch up, and it's not a game. Just play catch up. Fill up unused contribution room fast. You can do it in a single year or over a period of year until you turn 71. Match savings your income. As you make more money, make largest contributions to your RSP, and you'll have more income at retirement. Another good strategy will be considering borrowing to invest. That means that you can get an RSP loan, and it could be a good thing to maximize your contributions in case you don't have that cash available to just contribute to your RSP. You can only get one if you get a low interest one, and you can pay it back as soon as possible. There's another strategy that you can do, is that you can use your RSP tax savings to pay off your loan. Choose the beneficiary, and this is something very important. Make sure you are designating a beneficiary into your RSP, because generally RSP assets do not form part of your estate and do not attract probate fees. If your beneficiary is your spouse, your partner or disabled child or grandchild, your RSP can be transferred tax deferred to your beneficiary's registered plan. My name is Aimee Sehwoerer, and this is your financial advice segment. We'll see you next time.
Did you know the Government of Canada provides financial incentives to help you save for your retirement? Simply put, a Registered Retirement Savings Plan, or RRSP, is a special type of savings account that helps Canadians save for their retirement. Contributions you make to an RRSP are tax-deferred, meaning the money is only taxed when you withdraw it. For most, withdrawing from your RRSP at a later point in life means paying much less tax. Any money you put into an RRSP up to the annual limit reduces your taxable income for that year. Your annual limit is a percentage of your earned income plus unused room from earlier years. You can hold a variety of investments in your RRSP, like stocks, bonds, GICs, and mutual funds. Because income earned inside an RRSP isn't subject to tax until it's withdrawn, RRSPs are a powerful way to save for your retirement.
Sometimes our memory plays tricks on us, or simply, we don't know exactly what happened 71 years ago. in the World War II. There is a historical fact that happened in June 6, 1944 in Normandy, France. Our Immigrants Magazines program was invited to the Oni Maxfield Preview D-Day at the Science World Center in Vancouver. Take a look.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The film that we're going to see tonight, the director is a Frenchman named Pascal Bourne, the narrator Tom Brokaw, and they have a historical advisor, U.S. Army Colonel retired Peter Hurley. So the film is going to set the background for you, the historical context, and the film comes with an educator's guide so that teachers can use this to work with students and help them to learn the lessons. Now, the First World War generation is gone. The Second World War generation is now rapidly vanishing. Most young people today and immigrants to Canada will not have the opportunity to talk with any of these veterans firsthand. I've been very lucky to have been able to speak with quite a few over the years. Sadly, history isn't really taught too much in schools these days. Even the teachers are sometimes ignorant. For example, a teacher introduced a World War II, written WW and then the Roman numeral II, veteran who came to speak to her class, and she said that he was a veteran of World War XI. So when the teacher doesn't know, the kids aren't going to know either. So I think this film is going to be very important to help overcome that and help people of all ages understand a bit more about what happened, because you don't get the story personally, so this is the next best thing. History, they always say, is written by the victors. Then, of course, it's rewritten by Hollywood. And this film was produced by the French, but you'll see a very strong American influence in this, which is not bad, because that's where, of course, the huge audience is. And Canada is mentioned throughout in the notes. I have not seen the film, but going through the educator notes, Canada is mentioned. Just to set the scene slightly for you, or briefly, in 1944, when this invasion occurred. So at that point, Nazi Germany and Italy had occupied most of Europe. Japan had occupied much of the Pacific. Now, if we were under occupation today here in Canada, and you were coming here tonight, you would have been stopped by police, forced to show your identification papers, the risk of being arrested, disappearing, never getting home to your family, not having enough food to eat, and tonight's film would be a propaganda film telling only one side of the story. So those who went and fought, that freedom that we have to come here tonight to see a film that is hopefully evenly distributed rather than biased. Now in 1940, World War II started in 1939 when Germany and the Soviet Union invaded Poland. In 1941, Nazi Germany turned against its ally and invaded the Soviet Union. And the raid on August 1942 on the port of Dieppe featured mostly Canadian troops, and that taught the Allies a lesson that capturing a port is a very, very difficult thing, and that they should have alternate plans. The Soviets kept lobbying the other allies to put pressure on the Germans, because if the Allies could attack Western Europe, this would force the Germans to fight a two-front war from the east and the west, well, also the south, because there was fighting going on in Italy. And there was a lot of pressure to do this as soon as possible, but the Allies were very cautious. They said, well, we have to build up enough resources, and we have to plan it, and it has to be the correct time of year, so we can't just do it too soon. If we do, it'll fail, and then it'll be a huge disaster. At the same time, you had fighting going on in North Africa, Field Marshal Montgomery. You had the invasion of Sicily and the fighting up through Italy, which Sir Winston Churchill felt was very important to the war effort, but the Russians didn't always agree. Now, where does the term D-Day come from? Well, when you're having a plan for an invasion, you have to work up an incredible amount of paperwork and orders, and everything is all coordinated. So imagine if you were going on a holiday, and I suddenly said, oh, your holiday's delayed 24 hours. Your car rental, your hotel, your flights, meeting up with friends, tour buses, museums being open on a particular day, all of these things now have to be changed. So the military came up with a simple system. They said, everything will be written as D-Day will be the start of whatever invasion it is. H hour would be the starting time that day. And then, let's say your group was supposed to do something specific like land on the beach on the second day, so it's D+1. And if somebody else is to come in on the next day, it's D+2. That way they didn't have to start the clock ticking until the invasion actually started, which was very useful because for the D-Day invasion, the whole thing was put off 24 hours because of bad weather. So you can imagine if they hadn't done it that way, somebody'd have to go through all the orders and change all the dates, all the timings. Now, Canada's part in the war is often overlooked. We had a population of 11 million, and about 1 million people from Canada actually put on uniforms during the war. Canada produced just under 1 million military vehicles, over 900,000. This included some tanks, but mostly it was lighter vehicles in the half-ton to 3-ton size. And they felt that would be the most efficient. And we supplied a lot of vehicles, thousands of vehicles to Britain. They had to replenish their vehicles after their losses at Dieppe in 1940. We supplied Australia, New Zealand, India, South Africa, plus our own military. Companies converted from civilian production. So, for example, the Inglis company, which made washing machines. During the war, they made pistols and machine guns. Now, on D-Day, there were 5 invasion beaches and 2 areas for airborne landings. One of the 5 beaches was under the control of the Canadians, and that was the beach called Juno. The 1st Canadian Parachute Battalion was in a different area. They were with the British 6th Airborne Division on the north flank, the far left of the invasion beaches. We don't want to forget the Royal Canadian Air Force, which provided men, bombers, transport planes, and fighter aircraft. And Canada itself acted as a safe training area because you could go and fly and learn how to navigate, how to fly without having to worry about an enemy coming in and shooting you down.
In June 1944, they were 10, 20, or 50 years old. Their names were John, Winston, Violette, Edward, Dwight. They were from 12 different nations. But that summer, they united to liberate Europe. That summer, together with hundreds of thousands of men and women, they wrote one of the most important pages of history. Today, let's remember those who gave everything that summer in Normandy for our liberty.
You have to watch this behind the scenes. Next.
What is the name? Ahí le tienes que cortar un segundo. Well, somebody who is able to provide a service. No me gustó. No me gustó. Sí, la última pregunta.
Just to remind you, if you didn't have time to watch us on television, you can go to YouTube and you can see all our complete episodes from the Immigrants Magazine's program. Or you can visit our webpage at www.theimmigrantmagazines.net. We're on Facebook and on Twitter.
Homemade traditional Peruvian dessert, alfajores. Basket of ham, beef, turkey, veggie gourmet sandwiches. Hoagie Ways Catering. Phone number 778-245-3007. Problemas de relaciones interpersonales, separación, divorcio, problemas con niños, adolescentes y adultos.
Soy la doctora Yolanda Montoya, soy Clinical Counselor y mi teléfono es el 604-861-1071.